Okay. All right, we're all set.
Okay, because we don't have a quorum, we won't be doing official business, but thank you all for being here tonight. I know you
Let's
wanted.
go ahead and do roll call
Yeah,
just
I
to
would like to do
document.
roll call, but also can we include the library staff? I feel like I'd like to have them introduce themselves, which I think we sometimes forget, and then it's just odd to me.
Okay,
That'd be
yeah,
great, thank you.
okay. So Vice Chair Gina Oberding,
Yes,
Edie Hughes is not present. Now I have Gina, okay, Dina Phelps,
Here.
Chris Ray,
Here.
Amy Wilson, and we have Councilmember Chelsea Nunakamp. And excused, we have Chair Marie Hotta and Maggie Burns, and Inglewood School Liaison Devon Williams. And we've been informed today that Board Member Andy Sakaris has resigned. And staff, we have Director Christina Underhill and Library and Cultural Arts Manager Bethany Lafferty. And then we do have library staff present, if you guys would like to introduce yourselves. That's right.
you. Appreciate you being here. I know it's after hours. I'll kind of give our time, so appreciate that.
Yeah.
So we will move on and, there's no public comments, I suppose.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. So I guess we'll move on to reports, and so Beth, would you like to share anything with us, in regards to, statistics or anything of?
Okay, so from the statistical report, the things I wanted to point out, I was actually looking at this with another staff member the other day. And because they were asking for me to remind them when we were closed last year, like examination. So we did reopen March, like 13th or 15th or something like that. So April was our first full month open in 2023, with the exception of 2 closed Sundays. So, but essentially a full month in our physical visitors last April was 3,600, and we had over 5,000 this year. So that's a really good increase over the years of physical visitors. I mean, again, take it with a grain of salt because that's just the count of people coming through the door. So you could have the same person coming in 5 times. I'm not able to differentiate that, but you know, that's how much, you know, foot traffic we got last month. I don't know, culture passes were higher over last year. The most popular being Denver Nature and Science Museum, and then the Denver Botanic Gardens after that, and then the third most popular is the Butterfly Pavilion. So those kind of maintain those top 3 spots. Questions, there's 2,900 for adults, 58 for kids, 15 for teens. Top question categories included accounts at 15.99%, supplies 14%, room reservations was 9%, and copy and printing assistance was 8%. Only 17 incidents last month. 10 of those were just kind of other documentation, things like that, so nothing where we asked anybody to leave, but we're just kind of either documenting an 911 call or documenting observed behaviors. So we've been trying to do some more documentation to build on if we have to ask somebody to leave. That we've kind of documented what's led us to the decision to ask them to leave or do an exclusion.
Does every one of those documentations of their behavior include conversation with the individual, or is it just observed?
It's probably a mix. Sometimes I think it's mostly just an observation or a conversation with like a guard, maybe said, oh, this is what how I interacted with them, but not necessarily the library staff. And I think if it's there's gonna be a verbal exchange where we're gonna say that's prohibited behavior, we would probably classify that as a verbal warning rather than just documentation.
I noticed there's a handful of figures on here that are in orange. Is that denoting anything?
I don't know, not really. I mean, mostly it's just the totals. I've been trying to tweak the kind of format because like when I first got here, I didn't really know why some things were bolded or were in the orange. So I've tried to make it just be the orange ones, just kind of denote total amounts.
Okay.
So that it can be a little easier to pick out. So for like example, in the children, like the programs, those are the total number of programs and total attendance for current and last year for each category. And then the part where it's kind of like all orange, those are like all programs, all total.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then same with the incidences, some totals in the part of, there's like totals for circulation in the upper section as well. So I kind of have been tweaking it so that it seems to make more sense and be consistent.
Gotcha. Do you think we're seeing an increase in the attendance for the teen house programs because we're offering just slightly more, or seems like a pretty decent jump?
Yeah, I mean, I think everything's sort of held steady in terms of the programs. There's like a couple more each for children and adult, but, and I think, you know, last April, we were still just coming off of the, closure. So while we still offered programs through the closure, the attendance wasn't high as what we would have normally seen. And I think it probably took until summer reading started for that to kind of get back to the normal level.
And Beth, I've noticed that you've been working really closely with the communications department. And so how much do you think that's impacted these programs and et cetera? Because I feel like there's really been a concerted effort to highlight a lot of things going on in Inglewood, including.
Well, yeah, like we've been pushing a lot of our programs on our, like the library's own social media, and then communications has helped with designing certain things. Not everything, but like, the bigger events, and we will use their stuff for, like an example, like first, Celebrate Inglewood, like we didn't promote that. That was a citywide event that we participated, and we put some information out. But, and then there'll be times where we'll specifically ask the city to highlight and push out some of our events specifically. Sometimes I think our requests get a little lost in translation, because like I had wanted them to do a social post for the book sale, but they didn't. So that, I don't know what happened for that, because I wanted them to do an additional kind of push for that, since the event on Earth Day was being canceled. So I'm not sure, but we're still trying to iron out those details, but the author event is a good example. They were helping to create some of the, marketing images and stuff like that that we'll be using. So for some, and then, but most of our events, the library staff creates.
Okay, I apologize. I don't know the difference between those, particularly because I'm terrible at that kind of stuff.
The
Reach out to
library
anybody
operates its
doing any of
own
that? Yeah.
social media, where the city manages this, or like the communications department, I should say, manages the city's social media. And I believe the Parks and Rec Facebook page too. And then there's like other, I think Pirates Cove does its own social media, and so does Bergen Tea. Like some of the other divisions, you know, some do their own. But we try to get the city to share our posts and things like that.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Well, I think you guys are doing a great job, because I see it everywhere, and I appreciate, you know, maybe I don't go to the thing, but I appreciate hearing about the thing, you know?
Yeah, that's good.
I'm sure you call it something else, not the thing.
Seems like more than last year, for sure.
Yeah.
More of a.
Yeah, well, Corinne has definitely worked to organize staff members to be consistently working on stuff, and they schedule posts to occur. And I think we're still kind of refining how we utilize social media to promote events, things like that. I think for the book sale day, we did some last minute like cross promotion book, the taco truck that was here. To kind of, and we did have a good turnout for the book sale. I know I'm gonna talk about that later, but that was one where we just kind of like at the last minute, knowing the event was canceled, but there was still a taco truck coming, we were like, hey, let's connect and cross promote each other a little bit.
Great. Anything else on the statistical report?
Oh, just one thing. I just want to point out that the revenues over last year for this year was like quite the mark.
And we have no fees.
Yeah, that's great.
I mean, a large part of that is the book sale, but honestly, I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but most of that is not the book sale. It was meeting room rentals, replacement costs, and printing and copying. That's probably the one that brings the most money, printing and copying. Right?
Okay. Thanks, Beth. Should we move on to the action plan?
I didn't have a ton of updates. The adult services and children's teams are gearing up for social, summer reading. So a lot of stuff is kind of focused on just getting ready for that, not any of our special projects. So the first update I have in here was under circulation and patron experience, final touches on a new promotional flyer. The communications staff was working on something and was kind of back and forth with library staff until we came to a final decision. And that actually got ordered with the printers today. So we'll have those out by the end of this month to debut at the first neighborhood night event on May 30th. Total library card holders, that was one of the goals, to get that increase in total by 25% and residents by 15%. So far this year, total library card holders have increased 8.7%, and Englewood resident card holders has increased 6.6% for April. So I feel like we're in the first third of the year making some good progress towards that. And then the summer is really like a planned big push for increasing those registrations.
Is there a plan for the Citizen magazine, like a mini magazine on library cards? Stuff?
We haven't had anything in there recently, because we didn't have anything put together for the summer, but we might be able to adapt for the fall guide this new placard thing that we're gonna have out. Because it's intended to be like, we're just introducing you to the library, so it's intended for people who might not already come to the library to show and list like what we have to offer, have a link to registering for a library card, our hours and contact information and stuff like that.
Just thinking, the Citizen that just came out, all that summer reading, like summer reading could have been nice for you.
Summer reading was part of the summer guide. There was like a,
Was it in there? Okay.
yeah, it's in the library section.
Okay.
So it's not like a separate ad, it's just within the library offerings.
Right. I guess I'm thinking about like a feature or like how do we kind of promote, we're thinking of goals here
Yeah,
of increasing library card signups.
yeah, yeah.
Is that okay?
So that's what's in the circulation and movement experience, and then just kind of a brief update on library operations. I put this in here because I didn't know we were gonna have the as an agenda item, but for the strategic plan, 5 proposals were received at the end of the month and are in process of review. And hopefully that will be finalized at the end of the year. I'm sorry, at the end of the month. Gosh, I don't know where my brain is today. End of the month. The first community book sale for 2024 was on April 27th, and that brought in just over $800, well over 800. But what is wrong with my brain? 100 people attended. We were trying to keep track of the little people counter, but then my son messed it up at some point, and I was like, I don't know. We were like at 120. At some point. So there was a good number of people who came, lots of people who just happened to stop by and were like, oh, you're having a book sale. That's so great. So that was kind of nice. And we were able to showcase what's on the inside in our standing book sale. And people were like, oh, I didn't know you had that. So that was really good. And I think there's 4 of you. Yeah, everybody was in there. You didn't come. But Chris came, Chelsea came, Gina came, Amy came,
To call you out.
Maggie came,
That's not.
somebody else.
You're excused, it's okay.
Oh, and then another council member came, Tim Wright came also. So that was nice. We had council people attending and board members attending. Several city employees came, which was cool. So it was really good. I think this was a small sale, but I think it was a good one to do so we could kind of test out that space for the sale. I think it would be nice to do like some smaller sales out there, maybe more frequently, and have one large one like we did last fall, like per year, but then have some smaller things as we keep building up our donations.
In addition, food truck was nice too. So get some bucks, get a snack, get some lunch, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's a nice special.
So I just saw that Inglewood, advertised for 3 events this summer. Similar to a Celebrate event, that's not what they called it. So one in June, one in July, one in August. I wonder, if it would make sense to do a used book sale during one of those, if that's not like,
Well, yeah, and so like this April one, the intention was for it to be going on during a
Right.
city event,
I
but
know,
because
yeah.
of the weather, it was canceled. I feel like next year, I would probably try to pair that spring sale with Celebrating Wood in May.
yeah.
And then because the events, coordinator does all these markets throughout the year, pick out some dates and do just a smaller sale like we did on one of the days of the market in the circle.
Agreed. And open the doors. I don't know if we could probably.
Well, yeah, we would. And like that was the intention
Yeah.
for April, was
I know.
that the doors would be propped open and we would try to bring people in from the event. But because of the weather, I just left.
I get it.
So yeah, that would be the intention. And then we probably wouldn't have had all that direct access from inside the library necessarily. But again, because of the weather on that particular day, we had to. I knew most people were not gonna park in the front when it was like that. So it'll be a little bit of, trial and error this year, but I was sort of only planning to do one more larger sale, but I don't know. Small sales seemed to go really well, and like we didn't have a ton left over, which was nice. So we had a good amount of stuff to start with. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Because now I don't think I can fit 2 sales, like a big sale and a small one in the rest of this year. Unless we did something in the summertime, which it's already jam-packed with stuff, so we might just stick with doing the one sale in the fall and then next year plan a little bit differently. So we'll see.
Cool, 800 bucks. Great.
My goal was 500, so anything over that was great.
Anything else on the report? Cool. Budget, remaining funds, 0. Cool.
Makes it easy.
So moving on to new business, adult services team. Corinne.
Hello. Should I come up front?
Well,
I wasn't sure.
I don't know. I guess you're right to be on the recording. I don't know.
That's okay. You can
No,
listen to my
voice makes you record
Yeah.
better over there.
Yeah. These are literally just copies of the slides. It's not super fancy. But yes. I'm just going to talk a little bit about what we've been doing in adult services and what we're hoping to do the rest of the year 2024 and kind of into the future.
You see,
And I'm Corinne. So, yeah. Kind of looking at the year so far, I thought pictures are fun. So we have, in February, we did a murder mystery that was Valentine themed, which was a lot of fun. We had quite a good turnout at that. We also had a beautiful Bridgerton themed tea party that 2 people came to. But it was gorgeous and the pictures are great. So I thought I'd share them with you. Bridgerton was originally supposed to come out in March, the new season. It's coming out this week now. So if you're in Bridgerton, stay. Yeah, so that's just some of the fun stuff we've been doing. And then the biggest thing so far this year is going to be the next slide. Our gardening programs. We did a series of 4 gardening programs. We had seed starting, native plants for pollinators. We did, I'm getting this wrong. It's like native plants, and then we did a pollinator habitat one. And then just most recently, this last Saturday, during Celebrating Good, we had a container gardening session. So that was really great. And then we've started the seed library, as you can see in the center there, which has been, it has taken off magnificently. I think that we have handed out 300 some odd packets of seeds, and we are going to close the seed library for the season at the end of May. Arapahoe has already closed theirs, but we're going to go ahead and just kind of see how it goes through the end of May. And then we'll reopen it for people to bring back their seeds in the fall as they're kind of putting their gardens to bed. So yeah, some fun stuff that we've done so far. Our best attended programs are definitely Books at the Bar. We have 10 to 15 regular attendees at Books at the Bar, which is really amazing. I'm actually looking into getting us 2 tables and splitting it, because the last time we did it, I had to hand out sets of questions and then they had to cross in front of me. So we are definitely outgrowing that a little bit. And then the gardening programs, we had 15 plus regular attendees at all 4 of those programs. I think that this last one was a little bit less. We had about 12 people, but it was because of Celebrate, and then some other people had just made other plans. But we had 16 to 24 signups for each of those programs, and then about 15 plus people showed up to each one, which is really good. So the programs that are taking off right now are the Sack Lunch Sagas Book Club. That one has jumped from 8 to 15 members in the last 2 months. So very exciting. Rachel has been doing a lot of work on our little free pantry. The Amazon wish list that she's created has really taken off, and we are reigniting our partnership with IFCS, which is a local food bank. They are going to start giving us more snack bag donations every couple of months. They were giving us weekly donations, but 2/3 of their funding got cut this year. So we are trying to find some more options for that. The pantry gives out anywhere from 10 to 24 bags of little snack bags a day. And we also are getting weekly donations from Einstein's. They give us all of their leftovers at the end of the day on Sunday. So about 2 o'clock, one of our staff members runs over there and gets them. So usually Monday through Wednesday, we're giving out bagels with all of our snack bags as well. No schmear or anything, but it's still pretty good. So, and then the homebound program has also taken off amazingly. Rachel is also in charge of that. And we have actually met the action plan goal already, because we have 25 plus patrons signed up for that. And that was an increase of 25% that we were hoping to do this year. And we met it in like January. So we're doing bi-weekly deliveries to 2 different zones. There's green weeks and blue weeks. So 1 week is all of like Orchard and all of those kind of senior living centers. The next week is all of the outlier places. So it's really becoming a very well-oiled machine. We also started Tech Assistant Mally, and it's now going to be a regular thing. So that has really taken off too. They helped 4 people at the last one, but they were there for 2 hours, and it was 2 of our staff members were able to really focus and get those 4 people their help. So yes, it's been really nice.
So I guess this like helping them with their computers and their phones and that.
Pretty much just any question that they have.
Okay.
Yeah, but they usually it's if you have a specific device and you need help with it.
Gotcha.
We do tech assist here at the library as well, where they can get on our computers in the tech lab, and that's where we can kind of do a little bit more. But the tech assistant Mally was specifically like, do you have a laptop or a Kindle or something like that that you need help with, and they were walking them through.
Awesome.
Yeah, so just looking back at summer reading 2023, we had a reading log with 4 tiers, and basically every 10 hours that you read, you got a set of prizes. The final price for tier 4, if you read 40 hours, was a tattered cover gift card. My mind was blown by how many people really worked hard for that tattered cover gift card. And then we also had a bonus log with different activities you could do around. We did 4 programs last year. We had weekly movies that were all from 1983. We had an after hours 80s party, an after hours beach murder mystery, and the cornhole tournament. So with those things in mind, looking back on 2023, we had some successes. We had 125 signups, and this is really great for an adult summer reading program. I tried to not get too comparative to Kimberly's stats because she gets like 500 signups every year, but there's a lot more kids coming to the library than adults. So 125 is an amazing turnout, especially since we didn't do adult summer reading for about 5 years prior to this. 62 of those people completed tier 4, 25 of them completed the bonus log. The after hours programs in the cornhole were very well attended. Learned some lessons, overspent on those gift cards. We cannot offer them this year. Definitely remained in budget for the year, but was a lot more than anticipated. I thought maybe 30 people would read 40 hours because I definitely can't read 40 hours during summer reading. I underestimated people's determination for that. The tier structure was a little confusing for our participants. The movies were not well attended, and we realized that a lot of parents wanted to participate, but they couldn't because they couldn't get childcare. So for summer 2024, we've changed up a few things, and it's very exciting. So the first big thing of summer reading 2024 is the Author Festival. That is going to be on Saturday, June 8th from 10 to 3:30. It actually coincides with the first Inglewood Market of the year. And the plan is to open the doors up and have people coming in and doing all of that. So I think that that's going to be really great. We have 24 authors attending right now, might change. Not going to get bigger, might become less, but $5,000 was raised through sponsorships. That was all thanks to Lee, who's here. So I will definitely give credit where it is due. And we are really hoping to make this an annual event, and there are going to be more author events in fall 2024, more kind of one-off, like maybe a talk. So summer reading 2024 is going to look a little different. We are going to have everybody read 10 hours and get a prize. At 20 hours, they'll get a book. And then every 10 hours above 20, they will get an entry into a grand prize drawing for one of our 3 gift baskets. We have an adventure-themed gift basket. We have a reading-themed gift basket and a craft one. And I'm not going to give away what's in them because you have to see. There is a tattered cover gift card in the reading basket, but yes. Yeah.
For the drawings, when they like do an entry, is it for any of the 3, or can you say, I only want mine to go?
We're gonna do it per, which one?
So like you can say,
Yeah.
I want my entry to go for the adventure basket.
Yes,
Okay.
we're gonna kind of have like a box and it'll be which one I'm gonna put it in, kind of thing, yeah. Book pickups will start mid-June, so just come in and sign up, starting next Thursday, the 23rd. Super fun. We've got some really fun programs planned. We are doing a pirate-themed murder mystery. We are doing a silent disco, and we are doing the cornhole tournament again. And we have more outdoor games now, including the Giant Connect 4 that debuted at Celebrating Wood. One thing that is really important on this is that kiddos are welcome at all of our programs. And actually the silent disco and the cornhole tournament are joint programs with the children's department. So they're going to be, whole family is invited. The murder mystery is kind of hard with kids, but we open up the story time room and we let them play. And then if they want to participate, I'm more than happy to give them a character. See how they do with that. So they have a lot of fun with it. So yeah, we have some really great plans. We've toned it, we've brought it back, kind of reined it in a little bit this year, but I think we're anticipating to have about 150 people sign up. So very exciting. Yeah. Alrighty, so I'm going to talk a little bit about our social media efforts. So I'm glad that you brought it up because We have Facebook and Instagram. This year, we have developed a social media team in the library. There's 2 people on it officially that are officially doing most of the work, but Rachel and I also oversee it. So there's kind of 4 people on the team. One person just does graphics, that's Vivian, and the other makes sure everything gets posted, that's Kirsten. So we just kind of have, we presented, we set up a great standard operating procedures for kind of how many posts we want, what we want them to look like, what each post needs to say. We're still working out the kinks on that, but I do think it's getting a lot more streamlined and we have a much clearer vision on our social media. We've been working with communications to develop a style guide, and communications has been making our videos, which you've probably seen. They are definitely our best and highest performing posts. The most recent one is Vanessa tripping and suddenly winding up with a ton of items. And then Kirsten creepily waving goodbye to her. It's very creepy. So, but it's been really good and they've all been. The best performing post in the last 7 days was definitely our announcement at the author fair. So in general, our reach on Instagram is way bigger just because it's usurping Facebook in a huge way. But as of today, this is our social media audience. Unfortunately, you can't roll back and see the difference, but we have 611 Instagram followers and we had less than 100 this time last year. So we have really shot up with that. This is just the age and gender split up. Most of our folks say that they are in Denver, the followers. I know though that when I'm on my Facebook, I say I'm from Denver, even though I technically live in Littleton. So I left those stats off because I think that we do see a lot of Inglewood folks looking at these. So, and then our social media visits from 2023 reach, sorry. I skipped one. From 2023, this is January through April of 2023, and then this is the difference January through April of 2024. So our Instagram reach was a lot higher last year, but it was the first time that we had ever really been on Instagram. Our Instagram reach is a little less this year, but we are looking into doing more videos and reels and things like that because reels are really where it's at on Instagram. For the visits, however, we have almost doubled our Instagram profile visits, and we have doubled our Facebook visits as well. This is again, January to April of 2023, January to April of this year. So it's really looking great, and we have been making a real conscious effort on that.
Is that growth all organic too, or are you doing it with paid media?
We don't actually do a lot of paid. We are actually struggling with all the new rules with Facebook, and we're trying to figure out how to boost some of our stuff right now because they're saying that they let kick this off of the ads, which is kind of weird because we're not actually selling anything. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry. So yeah, but they're trying to treat us as a business, and they're like, well, you're not selling a product. And I'm like, oh, well, but I am selling a product.
Yes.
Community happiness. But yes, so we're just but no, we have not actually been running ads. So a lot of this growth is organic and very much helped by communication sharing a lot of our posts and us sharing their posts. We try to do a lot of back and forth with them. So looking forward, fall programs and beyond, we are definitely doing more gardening programs. Because that was a huge hit. I had no idea how many gardeners were here in Inglewood. I should have asked Debbie. But I did not know. We are definitely doing at least one more after hours event in 2024. It will likely be a Halloween themed event. It will probably be a murder mystery. Those seem to be the best attended. We're doing some passive programming. We're trying to kind of extend on that. We are doing Tech Assist at the Malley, and we are also working on partnering programs with the Malley Rec Center. We're going to do some adult coloring pages, things like that, some fun nights like that. We're expanding our computer classes again, and we are expanding our offerings to the unhoused. We are actually going to try and do some more focused programs on the unhoused. So, including movie nights, that's our big one. I went to PLA this year with Carrie and with Lee. PLA is the Public Library Association Conference. Sorry, I forget that that's jargon. But the takeaways from that is that there are a whole host of computer classes available on digitallearn.org, which is a Public Library Association website. So that's where our computer classes are going to be coming from. We are going to do some more small business support through the library, and we're hoping to partner with the Chamber of Commerce with that. We are going to work on our access to menstrual products in the library. We're going to make sure that those are free for all of our patrons to use. We already have that happening, but this is going to be a much more, this is going to be a much better flow. I guess is the only thing. I'm sorry, guys. Yes, but it's going to be a much more streamlined kind of thing, is getting them in. We are going to expand our Spanish language services. We have hired 2 new staff members who are Spanish fluent and very excited for that. And we are going to expand our ESL services and things like that for immigrants. We are also going to expand our services, hopefully, to the intellectually and physically disabled, because we have a lot of adult groups that come in and come to the library regularly. So we're going to look into doing maybe story times, something like that for them. And looking at trauma-informed approaches for our patrons and creating more trauma-informed responses for our staff, and a safe space that is an emotionally safe work environment for our staff, given some of the things that have been going on. So those are my takeaways from the Public Library Association conference. And that is it. Hopefully I didn't take too long. Okay. Yes, thank you. And if you have any questions.
I have 2 questions.
Sure.
The first one is, where can I submit ideas from?
Ideas for reels.
That is, like, is there somebody I could tell, like, oh, I saw this in you?
A great, for now, probably me would be the best person to email. And then I can pass that on to our communications department. Because I have a feeling that the folks in communications get lots of emails, so it would probably be best. And then I can chat with Hannah and everybody, and we can get it that the way, so.
Do you ever feel like I see them other libraries? I'm like, oh, we should do that.
Yeah. Yes.
And then my second question is about the author event, if you need volunteers.
I do. That is actually something I forgot to say.
Yeah.
I would really love volunteers for the author event, especially having 24 authors. Only about 13 of them are going to be doing the showcase part, but in that morning section especially, it would be really great. Also, because you are all sponsors at the library board, you are invited to our sponsor lunch. And I apologize that an invite has not come out yet. That is on me. But we will be doing that by the end of this week, and everybody will be able to attend that. And obviously, if you're volunteering, you get to eat lunch anyway. So you might as well just come and do the whole thing. So yeah.
Could a sign up go out with the minutes at some?
Yeah, I think Fran and I were gonna put together like a separate email.
Yeah.
After this meeting to see who would be available, and we'll kind of break it out into time frames.
Yeah.
Because I think we're kind of doing it just like half and half of the event time.
Yes. Yeah. And well, we've actually.
And then
even
there will be a
split it up
separate one
more.
for the lunch part. It's like a
Yeah.
year's one.
We've actually even split it up more into
Oh,
like
have
2.5 hour sections.
Okay.
But ideally, if somebody wanted to do pre-lunch and post-lunch with understanding that lunch is in there, you get lunch. So, yeah, that would be wonderful. So.
Well, thank you so much. Appreciate your
Thank you.
presentation and all the hard work.
We have lots of fun in the little service.
Keep up the good work. Thank you.
Anything else?
Thanks.
Thank you.
Next on our agenda, the library book sale, which I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like I did kind of talk about it already, but I just like double checked the actual total amount was like $860. And I think we also got about like $40 or $50 of just straight donations that day too, because we had a couple of people that just didn't buy anything but wanted to make a donation or said, round it up and keep it as a donation or something like that. So definitely was a good event. It was a really great opportunity to talk to people about, what the library has available. And like what I mentioned before, people didn't know we had a standing sale inside the library. So I think that's really good. We continually get donations. We don't necessarily keep all the donations for book sales. Just if it doesn't meet our kind of our donation criteria. We are able to keep like the standing book sale pretty well stocked all the time. And then, we'll probably do later in the summer, like a call for donations to kind of get more stuff. Like we had kind of a big influx, but just not for weeks. It was like 3 weeks worth, I think, last year. That was too much. That was too many things. So we might do like a concentrated call for donations for like maybe only so that we can supply for a bigger list. And I think right now I'm looking at doing kind of like a mid-September, maybe the bigger book sale. I have to look at some of the other, like what other things are happening. The weekend part didn't turn out so great last year. Like Saturday and Sunday were not very well attended. So I'm feeling like maybe, if we do it on a Saturday, definitely a Saturday where there's something else happening that's bringing people to the Civic Center. And then if there isn't, because I know events kind of trickle off after August, maybe we would just focus on it being something during the weekdays when more people are coming to the Civic Center on a regular basis, because the sale last fall, Friday was the biggest money-making day, and I was expecting that to be Saturday, but it really wasn't. So, but that's because people aren't coming down here, and I don't know if maybe eventually the book sales will be a big enough thing to draw people on their own, but for right now, I'm not sure.
What if too, if there's people who just want to get like the good stuff as soon as it opens, thinking like, oh, I want like the first survey of it.
Yeah, definitely. There was, because there's a lady that was at this last book sale. She works for a used bookstore. Like, that's what you do. You have to scout out where you can find things cheap, and then you resell it, and that's how you make money. But yeah, you're only gonna find the good stuff if you're there first. The other thing I know some libraries will do is for like the first night or first day, they'll charge like a $5 admission too, for extra.
Early access.
For extra to make a little bit of extra money, like make a $5 donation to get the first look at the items. So
That'd be interesting to try out.
yeah,
A VIP entry.
yeah. So I've seen lots of libraries that do that type of approach. Especially if they do it on do it a weekend, they might do it like Thursday night and that's what I did last year. I just had like kind of word of mouth only sale. But if we promoted it and said, you can shop the first 5 hours of our sale with a $5 donation or something like that. I don't know.
I have a sense for the weekday sales, and it's people commuting, parking at the parking lot, coming back and forth, and it's that kind of traffic. I don't have to figure that out. That'll have to be but
I don't know.
okay.
Yeah, I don't
It's
know.
interesting that we seem to have a higher turnout.
Yeah, because like last year we did the Thursday evening, then we did all day Friday, and then we did Saturday, Sunday. But we probably had twice as many people and twice as many sales on Friday than Saturday.
Interesting.
So I was not expecting that.
I really do think it's because it's the first day one.
Yeah.
That's how I go this.
Yeah, if you came
All the same.
to the so the April 27th one, the very first hour, it was like shoulder to shoulder people along those tables. So. And we gotta try to get more kids stuff. That stuff almost all sold out. There was like maybe less than 10 children's books left at the end. Wow. Yeah. Out of all the kids books we had, so. That's a big draw for sure. But we don't get a ton of children's donations. Well, that's all I've got about the book sale,
Great.
but it's definitely off to, positive start.
That's right.
And like the standing book sale brings in money every week. So,
Yeah.
And that all goes into our kind of unrestricted donors funds. Actually, that's not, well, it goes in there, but we do earmark it as book sale money. And we are using the book sale money to fund the summer reading prize books. So it does have specific permits that we're using.
A lot of opportunity there. Oh, great. Before we move on, we had a guest. Do you want to introduce yourself or?
Yeah, my name's Christopher. I just came here because I heard that you guys have a meeting here about the library. The topics on the agenda is to ban recording on the library.
Oh, okay.
Have you guys talked about that?
No, we haven't, but
So here.
yeah, sure. Yeah, we are moving on to old business, which is an update on the filming, and so included in the packet is a draft, so if we wanna go through that and just have some discussion about, any questions or concerns people have. I guess I'm not, without a quorum here tonight, we're not voting on any official business, so, I think it's up for, discussion.
Yeah, and this is just for review.
Yeah, just
No
for
vote
review.
is needed for that.
Yes.
So are there any specific questions? This was sent out last week to you all for review, and our city manager was open for any questions as well,
Okay.
if something comes up, so.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a little bit of maybe legal reference, but I didn't have any concerns with what it outlined.
Okay.
So if anyone else had anything or comments or questions, anything you want to bring back to the city manager, attorney?
No, I appreciate the clarity and the extra detail that we talked about for last week, so thank you. This is very clear. And the exceptions part was great too.
Okay. Great. Moving on, our agenda, staff's choice.
Oh, wait.
Oh, strategic plan, we
I'm
kind
sorry,
of,
I
we did
just-
kind of cover that with
Sorry.
5 vendors signed up for the RFP. It is being reviewed. The review committee findings and scoring is due tomorrow. Probably in the next week or two, we'll be meeting to discuss the 5 that submitted and how they scored, and then we'll be selecting a vendor and moving forward. So we may be a little delayed on the timeline. I think we want to start in June. It may not start till mid or late June or early July. Which may be a little challenge. This may roll into 2025, which really isn't a huge deal. We want to have a thorough strategic plan done with the community and our patrons and the board. So there's no huge rush to get this done immediately, but we want to make sure it's thorough.
I did think that we got really strong submissions though, so I feel confident we'll pick somebody. And we'll have a good. Consultant company that's gonna help lead us through it. The process.
All of them had great experience
Yeah.
working with libraries and doing their strategic plan. So I agree. I think it's a win-win situation for the library.
Super. Thank you. Didn't mean to almost give you on the agenda.
One item.
Anyway, okay, on to staff's choice. So Beth or team?
I do have, these are the bags that we use the library board's funds to purchase. So I have one for everybody. And they also, because they go into these little things, so that's what we're super excited about these, because you can bundle them up and keep them in your backpack or in your your purse or in your car. And then, I keep one, the sample one I got, I keep it in my purse, and whenever I have an emergency stop at the grocery store, or go to the pharmacy, I'm like, oh, I have a bag, I have my own bag. And so these will be great, and then when you open them up in the store, they say Englewood Public Library. It's like good advertising. I have one of the other board members around.
Well, yeah, kudos for making something that's useful, for ordering something. When I was at the Englewood event this Saturday, people were thrilled to get this. So it was a popular item. There we go.
Yeah, we got a bunch of new swag in time for celebrating, so lots of fun stuff that we'll have at events for the summer.
All right. Any other staff items?
Just mark your calendars, June 8th, summer markets kick off, got the Authors Festival, June 8th is a big day, so hopefully you can join us.
Great. And what? And sign up for summer reading for Rachel.
Starts next Thursday.
Yeah.
Next Thursday, 9:30 and I expect it.
Well, nice work over there at Maui and the tech assists and everything you've been doing to help adult literacy. So, board members' choice. You got? Anything?
So we didn't talk about me being gone or what?
Um, so we have had requests from a couple board members for leave of absence. We did check with our city attorney and she said we need to go off of what is in the charter. So, being that it does not state that a board member can have a leave of absence, it is her recommendation that the board member resign if they're going to be gone for several meetings in a row and then to reapply. I have also made the suggestion that if you can possibly join virtually or anything like that, that would help towards the quorum, that, you know, we don't want to see the board member having to resign, but we do understand there are situations that do come up. So,
Well, I think I'll be able to join July.
okay,
Well,
okay.
So
If something like that
it would be like
works.
June and probably the August.
And at that point too, we should have new members in place that will help towards the quorum. I mean, we don't want to see you have to resign, so,
Okay.
yeah,
well,
we
I'm
do
not
have that
gonna
meeting.
Because we know about it, it's not gonna count toward an unexcused or something like that. So to me, I appreciate your,
Yeah.
your transparency.
Well, there might be one that gets canceled anyways, because
Yeah.
I really won't be missing anything.
Yes.
So I
Yeah,
didn't resign for that reason.
Yeah.
Right, no, if you think maybe you could do July or that'd be great.
Yeah,
to
I'm pretty
kind-
sure I'll be. But
Thank
once I
you.
Get enough internet. We'll see how that goes.
No, and informing us too, so we do appreciate that. We know if you can't, then.
And I'm leaving the day before the book. Oh, really? Oh,
Anything from council? Nothing specific? Okay. And we don't have our school liaison here, so I think if that's it, then I will call the meeting adjourned.
Can I ask a question?
Sure, of course.
So what is the new rules about the recording in the library? So that have people's permission without it amended?
Hasn't been voted on yet, so I don't know.
It hasn't been adopted yet.
It hasn't been
I don't
adopted
think we
yet.
do vote on it, do we?
No.
We can't vote tonight because we don't have a quorum. But it has to go up the channels through the city.
It's an executive or it's a administrative, so it'd be the city manager's office that will be able to put this in place.
Yeah, I mean, the Constitution, like that activity, so it's limited public forum, time, place, and manner restrictions. So time, hours of operation, place like the restricted area, employee office, things like that, and manner, kind of like a yoga class or something that a reasonable person wouldn't expect to be a typical activity in a library. Then you can restrict, taking pictures, as long as taking pictures doesn't disrupt the use of the library for the other patrons. So that would absolutely just be completely unconstitutional. Try to tell people you have to ask for permission to take someone's picture in a public place. Throw that out.
Thanks, Chris. Yep, calling this meeting to end 6:57. Thank you.
Thank you.